here today at Barrow's first Microfest for people with disabilities. This is a first in the area of an inclusive festival that incorporates everybody no matter their ability. So music is probably one of the only tools that anybody can take part in. And this is a great example of it. We've got young people from the ages of 5 drumming in the hall there, right up to the ages of 60 with a tambourine, including myself earlier on.
And my job is to bring excitement and facilitate the music of the participants here. I'm a kind of link between the live bands and the participants. We want to marry the two. So it's a great fun experience for me and great fun for the room, putting some energy in the room. It's always wonderful to involve everyone into every kind of event possible, and you can see the look on people's faces that they're involved, and it's worth it just for that, just for the joy that it brings and the facility that they can take part in a festival experience, whether that is actually at the festival or on a remote site such as this.
We're 2 Potato 3. We were asked by MusicLinks to come and do a spot at the Microfest, and I think it's absolutely fantastic the way that it coincides and ties in with Kendal Calling, and just gives that opportunity for people who may not experience the festival in itself to experience it in a different, more accessible way. I think it's fantastic.
What's going on here today and what are you doing here?
I'm watching Kendal Calling on the news. We did the drums on the instruments and made a song.
If this happens again next year, come along.
Yeah.
And would you tell your friends to come along
Yeah.
as well? So what would you say to your friends?
To come to Kendal Calling because it's great.
What we're trying to do here is make a safe space for people who wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable or able to join a traditional concert or festival setting. Some of the people are in wheelchairs, some of the people have Down syndrome, some of the people are autistic or have attention deficit disorder, and they wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable. This gives them an opportunity to take part in the festival, which is a lovely thing for them to be able to do. And we've been having a really, really great time. They've been joining in, playing percussion, asking the bands questions, conducting the bands. And we've had some wonderful bands drop by, some people from the main stage, some people from all over.
It's vital that they are included, that they get to experience the festival for real. And when we're coming into the festival, the excitement for them starts as soon as we come through the gates. When they see everybody camping and the big crowds that are around here, it's really good, and it also enables them to interact with people on a scale that they wouldn't ordinarily do. So yeah, it's good in all manners that we're in a safe environment in the jam tent, but we can access the wider festival as well in a safe way.
One of the things that we're doing differently this year is we're including spots for artists in exile. So these artists are living in this country, they're refugees, we've had people from Syria, people from Ukraine. They're talking to us over a live video link. They can see us and hear us, and we can see and hear them. We've been jamming with them. And we feel that's particularly pertinent because a lot of our audience feels very vulnerable, and obviously the refugee community feel very vulnerable as well. So I think there's a synergy and a symbiosis to bring those two groups together. It's great to be able to give a platform to artists in exile and refugees.
So we have local and we have remote. So the big thing is, how do we connect between the two? Ideally, we want some decent broadband. Fortunately, Kendal Calling have given us fantastic broadband. So then what we rely on is the source and the destination for that information that's coming through, which in this case is sound and vision. Typically, what we have is people with laptops with cameras on, or a webcam separate from that. But they don't really have powerful, good, high quality professional sound equipment. So we're suffering a little bit from that at the moment, where we have remote artists who have lost their country, unfortunately, and so they've decided they would play with us. They've come in, they've used their laptops, and suddenly this tiny little microphone has a huge amount of information to try and process and send through. There's no constraints around who should be listening to music. This is an enabler. It allows people who otherwise wouldn't be able to come to festivals, wouldn't be able to experience this type of music and the extended family of musicians, and without this type of technology to enable it. It's the whole concept of MusicLinks, really, and that is to be able to enable music to the masses.
JamTent's been incredible for everybody, no matter what your ability in music or what your capability is across the board. All the people that they've brought into the JamTent have had a different range of needs and a different range of abilities, but they've all enjoyed some form of music here. There's lots of opportunities that are missed when you don't have things like this. There's not a lot for children in Cumbria when it comes to experiencing music. There's a lot for adults but not a lot for children, so we need things like this for them to experience. That is not all just aimed at children, but aimed at everybody of different abilities across the board.
So today has been an absolutely fantastic day. It's a pilot to see what we can do and how we can make it better in the future. As you can probably hear in the background, a lot of people are in there jamming away. We've had some international artists, some from Kendal Calling. We're looking forward, hopefully, to be running it again next year, and hopefully, fingers crossed, getting to Kendal Calling with the people that are here.